So this is a little mini video on solving quadratics by graphing. And just want to remind you that solutions to a quadratic are the x-intercepts where it crosses the x-axis. They're also called roots or zeros. So if you hear x-intercepts, roots, zeros, solutions, those all mean the exact same thing. And a theme that you're going to see all the time is you can have 0, 1, or 2 real solutions. And I'm going to show you examples of each of them. First of all, you can look just by looking at the graph, you can tell how many solutions there are. Like here, it only hits the x-axis in this one point, and so there's a 1 real solution for this one. And that solution is at 0, 0. And then, on this next graph, it crosses the x-axis here and here. So I have 2 real solutions. And those solutions are -2, 0 and 2, 0. On this last one over here, we have no x-intercepts, which means there is no real solution. And that's what it looks like. Okay, so you can tell the solutions by looking at the graph if the graph is done for you. That's one way. Or we can actually sketch the graph to see the solutions. I'm going to start with this first one. Think of this as being in standard form, so but that we don't have an x term or a constant. So if I was going to do find my vertex, the x of my vertex is -b over 2a, but I don't have a b because I don't have an x term, so that b is 0 over 2 times my a, which is 2. And 0 over anything is always 0. Then to get my y of my vertex, I substitute the 0 back into the equation. So 2 times 0 squared. Well, 0 squared is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. So my vertex is 0, 0. Then to get plot my points, I do my xy table. And my vertex always goes in the middle of my 5 points. And I take 2 points to the left and 2 to the right. So I'm going to start, I'm going to figure out what it is at 1. So I've got y equals 2 times 1 squared. Remember, always square before you multiply. 1 squared is 1, times 2 is 2. And of course that's going to be reflected on the other side. And then the second point I'm going to look at is 2. 2 times 2 squared. 2 squared is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. So that's going to be an 8, and that's going to be an 8. And I only have 5 boxes here, so I'm going to change my scale to go by 2s. So it's 2, 4, 6, and 8. So if I graph these points, I have -2, and this, of course, this is a -2 and a +2. So -2 and up 8, -1 and up 2, so 1 is halfway here, it's going to go up 2, and 0, 0, and here, and here. Okay? So this is my graph, and I have 1. It only touches the x-axis at 1 point, so I have 1 real solution, and that solution is 0, 0. Okay, so we're going to do this next one and graph it. Again, to find our vertex, we do x is -b over 2a. I have a constant. I have a c term. I still don't have a b term. So my b term is 0, and my a term is 2, and 0 divided by anything is 0. To get the y of my vertex, I'm going to plug that back in. So I have 2, 0 squared plus 2. 0 squared is 0, times 2 is 0, plus 2 is 2. So my vertex is 0, 2. So I'm going to do my x and y chart. And 0, 2 is the middle value. Your vertex should always be in the middle of the values. And then I need 2 to the left and 2 x's to the right. To get this one, I'm going to plug 1 in for x squared. So I have 2 times 1 squared plus 2. 1 squared is 1 times 2 is 2. And 2 plus 2 is 4. So that's 4, and that's going to reflect a 4 on the other side. And then the second point I have is to plug in the 2. It's 2 squared plus 2. 2 squared is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Plus 2 is 10. So 10 here and 10 here. And again, I'm going to go by twos on my graph. I'm changing the scale. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. And then I have -2, +2, 4. So I have -2 and up 10, -1 and up 4, 0, 2, 1 and up 4, and +2, 10. So it gets graphed here. Okay, and this one doesn't cross the x-axis at all, so this one's no real solution because it doesn't cross the x-axis. And then for my last one, I've got the same thing. I'm going to find my vertex first. X equals -b/2a. I don't have a b term because I don't have an x, so that's going to be 0 over 2 times 2, which is 0. My y term, I'm going to plug the 0 into here. So 2 times 0 squared minus 2. 0 squared is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. Minus 2 is -2. So my vertex is 0, -2. Okay, I'm going to do my t-table. And put 0, -2 in the middle. So I need to find the values for -1 and -2, and +1 and +2. When I plug the first one in, y equals 2 times 1 squared minus 2. 1 squared is 1 times 2 is 2, and 2 minus 2 is 0. So this is 0 and this is 0. And then I'll plug in the 2. 2 times 2 squared minus 2. 2 squared is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. And 8 minus 2 is 6. And again, I'm changing my scale to go by twos. So I have -2 and +2. And then we've got 2, 4, 6, 8. So I have 0, -2. I have over 1, 0. And left one, -1, 0. And I have 2, 6. And -2, 6. So this one goes like this. And this one is crossing the x-axis in 2 places. So I have 2 real solutions. And those solutions are -1, 0 and +1, 0. And, whoops, I should have scooted that up. See all that? All right. So anyway, that is finding your solutions by graphing.